things here. Great. So with this being said, and everyone has agreed that the video will be recorded, we may begin. So the agenda on today is the following. I will be presenting, I'm written here as the coordinator, but as a project manager, I'll be presenting a REACH incubator, after which Iñaki from Zabala will present to you the open call, its processes, the application form, the eligibility, and everything that goes along with the open call. Then we have Adrian from Nubila who will present the REACH Toolbox, which is a set of tools, softwares available at your disposal for the creation, experiments, and the creation of data value chains. Afterwards, we have Fernando Perales from JOT, who will present their company and their challenge as well. And then we have Sarah from Urban Data Collective as a winner of the Open Call 2, or the round 2. And afterwards, we have Q&A, where we'll be answering the questions. We'll try to cap this meeting at, we'll try to do it in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Depending on the questions, we might slightly extend it, but we'll definitely try to cap it at 1 hour, 45 minutes in order to keep our focus. And yeah, in case anything is left over, there will be a process for you to ask additional questions online or attend another meeting that will happen in a month's time. So with this being said, moving on. Story behind REACH is European Commission and the EU has been slowly progressing towards an ecosystem that pushes and facilitates greater data access, sharing, security, and use of artificial intelligence, machine learning to establish this environment of trust and multi-stakeholder engagement. To this end, we've decided to move towards the establishing an ecosystem where data value chains across sectors are created, and to enable a program that will enable a large-scale deployment of database products and services. Again, with this in mind, the programs such as REACH have been set up to holistically support data-driven innovation experiments with the accent on secure and privacy-aware analytics solutions. So what is a data value chain? So a data value chain represents a multi-stakeholder data workflow whereby applying data analytics, both data and data solution providers reciprocally benefit through joint exploitation models. And now we're coming to REACH. So REACH is an innovation action project launched in September 2020. It's a second generation incubator that built on the successful efforts of EDI that run 3 incubation rounds previously. And we aim to connect digital innovation hubs, data corporations, and startups to enable the development of these data value chains based on industrial and private data. So over the period of 3 years, we aim to select, incubate, and coach around 100 data-driven SMEs and startups through 3 innovation incubation programs. During this time, we will distribute around 3.5 million euros, which in equity-free funding. So it's a grant. It's not equity-based, and this will entail around up to 120,000 euros per organization as the funnel progresses, but more about it in a second. This is the consortium behind this program. So we're a group of 10 companies across Europe, with CEA leading as the coordinator, and the respective partners each supporting with a particular task to make this happen. What are the benefits for startups and SMEs? So as I said, up to 120,000 in equity-free funding, access to large corporations and their data sets, a REACH Toolbox as a set of software available for the development of solutions and running the experiments, support when it comes to private investment and securing private investment, trainings, mentorship when it comes to digital business skills and tech skills, big data infrastructure, and visibility. So there are 3 ways to apply. You will hear more about this in a second, but in track 1, digital innovation hubs have set up theme-driven challenges respective to their focus and made data available to the startups that they can use to solve these challenges. In track 2, corporations that we have partnered with have set up challenges respective to their business strategies and have shared availability of data to startups to solve these challenges. And track 3 is where a startup approaches and prepares an experiment and the application, bringing their own partner in terms of an SME or corporate who has shared a challenge and data to the startup to prepare a solution and experiment, basically. So this is the incubation timeline. By February, as you will hear when it comes to the deadline for applications, we will select, we'll embark on a very, very tedious evaluation and selection process that will last for 1 month, performed by external evaluators that we are paying and we have selected based on their expertise. We will select around slightly more, around 35 or 38 teams to embark on the explore phase, which is an idea validation phase for 2 months, where startups will slightly work on their solution a little more, receive a bit of training, and have some time to take their initial idea further and present it to us in Paris sometime in May, where for this phase you will receive around 5K, or not around 5K, and we will select at the pitching event in Paris 10 most promising teams from this batch, where you will embark on a 4-month period where to further develop your experiment, work with your corporation or SME, develop your solution, slightly more technical things to be done here, receiving 80K to do this, as well as meet in Bilbao with your corporations and slightly work with us in person. At this stage, kind of moves into the expose stage, which is private funds raising. So all 10 startups have access to this. However, only 5 startups move to the evolve stage, which is a market launch and investment, after they have pitched their progress at the end of this 4-month stage in Bilbao. We will select 5 most promising teams for the phase of 2 months, where startups will attend various events that we've worked with them to identify, such as Web Summit, TNW, Wolf Summit, or similar. And at this stage, it is the aim that the startup attends 2 events, starts commercializing the product, starts talking to the investors, and at this time we'll receive another 15,000 euros to support this stage. So as you see, it's a 4-phase incubation program where the best startup of the incubation round receives around 20,000 euros at the pitching, which will be probably at Slush next year. And this is where it all culminates. And yeah. So these are the data providers that we currently have partnered with and that have shared their challenges and data. So you can check it on the website. And these are the digital innovation hubs that have done the same. When it comes to the themes and challenges, the sectors that these themes and challenges cover, here you can see, I think there are 16 or 15 of them. But as you have seen previously, there is a track 3 where you can approach your own sector and industry and simply introduce yet another industry that you cover with your data value chain setup. So, important dates. Today, important date is the first webinar. The second one will be held in the 20th of January, where we'll do something similar today. And we have the open call deadline, which is on the 21st of February. So plenty of time, but I do recommend that you start early because, as you see, it is a very competitive call. The application form is demanding, yet straightforward if you slightly look into the guidelines and understand the whole process. We are here to help you. So in case you have questions, you'll be able to email us. You can sign up to a newsletter. So I'll take a second. If you have a smartphone, simply use the QR code, use the camera to sign up to our newsletter, because we will be communicating things about Reach, and it's nice to keep in track. Worth saying, we won't bother you with unnecessary information through the newsletter, as some people do. So we'll try to make this relevant and interesting. So do take a second to sign up. Moving on, right? So this was round one. Marco Oscar from Cropped, focusing on optimization of soy pricing, I think, and yield. Has won the first round, and as you can see, we have been quite active, and this was in Slush, where he won a beautiful Finnish woman and was quite happy about it, and we were quite happy to see him win. So our final aim is to demonstrate that data silos can be broken by enabling this multi-stakeholder cross-sectorial collaboration to boost data fuel sustainable solution. Wow, this is quite a mouthful. But as you can see, this is our stakeholder ecosystem, simply alignment with all the stakeholders and bridging the gap between the synergy around the data and enabling a greater collaboration among all. So yeah. Here you can find the info email, but all the questions related to the open call, please direct them to the open call one. So yes, with this being said, I will pass the floor to Iñaki, who will take you further through the open call and through the guidelines for applicants to get the little tips and tricks and details about the call. Iñaki, take it away.
Okay, Alec, thanks. Let me share the screen now. Okay, so thanks everybody for your attendance, and welcome to this first info webinar of the third Reach Open Call. I'm Iñaki Armendariz from Zavala Innovation, and together with my colleagues, Leire, we are in charge of this open call management. Okay, my presentation will be more focused on how to follow the application process. So let's begin with a brief overview of the topics we will be covering during this presentation, which contains all the relevant information you must consider, okay, when you start your application process. First of all, the submission of the proposal. Basically, we will be talking about the process itself. We'll give you also some details about the eligibility rules Reach has. Okay, and then we will go through the evaluation process and the results communication. How will you be notified, okay, about the results? Well, let's start with the submission. This is the first step. Okay, it's very simple, but at the same time it's highly important. You should read the documentation we have available in the website, starting from the guidelines for applicants, which is like the Bible of the applicant. all the necessary information about the project and the call is described there. We have also the ethical guidelines, which is a novelty for this first open call, based on some recommendations we got from the European Commission, in order for all the applications to comply with the ethical issues. And then we also have this frequent asked questions section available also in the website, with more specific questions, let's say, that have been raised during these 2 years of project, and that we hope they solve all your doubts. These are, as I said, these are the documents we have available in the website, but of course we are also open to solve any other doubt you may have. We have this mailbox, and just as I said at the beginning, before asking or before raising your questions, please read these documents, because they are like very easy to understand, and we hope everything will be solved there. Once you have read the guidelines and the FAQs, the second step is to choose a track, to apply for. As Alex explained before, we have 3 ways to participate in REACH. First one is called Theme-Driven, which is track 1, where the consortium, together with the DIH that collaborate with us, have defined some cross-sectoral data value chains to be tackled by the participants, each of them containing several challenges to solve. The second track, called Ready-Made, then we have a set of challenges that have been defined by our REACH data providers, according, in this case, to their specific needs and problems, let's say, that they have detected in their market. And the last one, called Free, which is track 3. We give the option, to an SME or startup to apply together with their own data provider, and this is mandatory. If you apply to track 3, you must at least come with a data provider. Then, if I select, or if you select track 1, Theme-Driven, the first thing is to choose the data value chain theme and a challenge within that theme. All of them are available in the link you see here. There you will find a description, of all the themes which are available for this third open call. And we have also provided you with some data sets that you have to use, to address those challenges, available as well in the data catalog. And we even give you the opportunity to use data sets that you bring. It's mandatory to use the one we provide, but you have the opportunity to add more data sets. These data sets of your own, you can bring them with. You can also bring an external data provider, and you can also even use open data. Then track 2, Ready-Made. The process is more or less similar. You have to select one challenge from the REACH challenge catalog, available here in the link. These challenges are identified using under this Ready-Made track, and as you will see, all of those challenges are quite specific. So please, you have to be focused on them and don't get out of those challenges, because the data providers are interested or are looking for solutions of technology to solve the problems they have or they have detected. Okay, the use of different, as I explained before, different sectors or fields to create this cross-sectorial data value chains is encouraged. And in particular, you are encouraged to combine the data sets available in our catalog with others from other sectors, as I said before, like open data or whatever. For this application stage, okay, and for the first 2 months of incubation, you will have access only to dataset samples, okay. But once you enter the next phase called experiment, we will be providing you with the full datasets, okay. And then the last track called free choice. Okay, here we don't have a predefined anything. You are encouraged to define your own DVC and to bring your own data provider, which will apply with you, okay, together. One important thing is that the data provider you bring must be the owner of the data. Okay, so if you apply to this track together with the application form, you will have to complete a form for the data provider where they answer some questions about the property of the data, the type of data, GDPR issues, etc. Applicants here in this track are also encouraged to combine datasets from different sectors. So you can use datasets you bring, but also you could use datasets we provide, okay, within our catalog. It's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. Steps to follow, okay, if you bring your own data provider, no matter if it is for track 1 or 3, first thing is to register the data provider in the application form. As I said before, there's a specific form for them, which is linked to the application form that the applicant must fulfill, okay. Then it is also important to take into account that during the months of February, March, when the evaluation is conducted, the data provider has to sign a memorandum of understanding. And then if the startup progresses and enters the incubation, the data provider is committing, okay, to participate in some meetings and events related to the project where the companies basically present their solutions, okay, in the final pitches. Here what you see is like a summary, okay, of the minimum rate of proposals we expect to have in the incubator, okay. So both for track 1 and 2, 40% of the applications applied, okay, for these tracks will be selected, okay, and for the 3, we expect like to have around 20% of the proposals applying for that track. As we have been highlighting, we're giving also a lot of value to cross-sectorial experiments. So to prioritize these data value chains, we expect that at least, it is always not easy to reach, but at least we expect to have 40% of the total selected proposals, no matter which track they come from to combine yes, datasets from different sectors. Okay, so the last, but not least step in this submission process is to submit the proposal, okay? And in this case, please be aware that the deadline is the 21st of February, but we recommend you to start maybe now, if possible, okay, completing the form, the application form. How to prepare, okay, that proposal in order to be successful enough, okay. So first of all, we have the online form that needs to be filled in the F6S platform. It is, let's say, kind of easy to fill, but you need to be very, very detailed and complete it all. Okay. So first step is to register your company in the platform if you have not done it yet, and go through different sections it has. There's a section for the challenge, for the technical proposal as well, another section for the business strategy. And we have also added a section related to the ethical guidelines I have mentioned before, that has also to be accepted through a checkbox. We also have an Excel file that you will have to download called financials, if I'm not wrong. It's mandatory, okay, to complete this Excel and upload it again to the application form. And please don't forget it, because we need those data, okay? We need your respective, let's say, incomes and previous or past incomes as well. There's a section also for the team where you will have the opportunity to present the people who will be working behind the proposal. And there is some administrative section as well, okay? Second aspect to be considered is the declaration of honor. This is a document that is very easy to complete in the application form. And in this declaration, you are basically saying that you fulfill the criteria to participate, and that you declare your company as an SME or startup, okay? Because we don't does not fund large corporations, okay? So only SMEs or startups. And then the third thing is that when you are bringing your data providers, okay, only in track 1 and 3, so it will be mandatory to complete the data provider description form, okay. Well, now let's talk about the eligibility. So to be eligible means that you can be legally selected, okay, to be part of the incubation programs. So which are those eligibility criteria? Okay, first one is that the submission must be completed in English, okay? English is the only language we will validate, okay? Then secondly, as I have mentioned before, the incubator is only for SMEs and startups, so we don't fund either individuals or large companies. So there is also an SME guide, okay, provided by the European Commission and available on the guidelines. So you can check, okay, if you are considered as an SME or startup, okay, based on some KPIs and so on. Okay, first thing, sorry, eligibility in terms of country. Since this project was granted by the previous Horizon 2020 program, all European countries are eligible, UK as well, okay? There is no issue with the eligibility or the acceptance of UK countries and also associated countries and so on. This is quite well explained in the guidelines. Then, as I said, it's mandatory to use, if you apply to track 1 and 2, it is mandatory to use data sets that we provide within each of the challenges, but not for the track 3, okay? Then it's optional. Then there is another kind of sister project called I4Trust. So companies or solutions that have been funded in that initiative, okay, are not eligible. Okay, there is no possibility to double fund proposals under I4Trust and REACH. Sixth point, no multiple submission. What does it mean? It means that only one application per entity will be evaluated. So in case you submit more than one proposals, the one that will be evaluated and take it into account will be only the last one, okay, the last you submit. Then, as Adrian will explain later, we have like a catalog of big data tools called REACH Toolbox that we highly recommend you to use as well. Then for the challenge and the proposal, okay. As I mentioned, data providers have defined very specific challenges. So please try to address them, because otherwise, even if your proposal is quite excellent, let's say in terms of technical aspects and business aspects, it does not fit with the challenge described by the data provider. So probably it will not enter the incubation. Okay. And last point, don't forget, as I said before, please be very detailed when you submit your proposal, because this is the way we have to evaluate it and provide also real information, okay, and valid information. Then, how is the evaluation process? Okay, first thing we do is with the proposals, okay, to check the eligibility based on the criteria I introduced. Only those proposals considered as eligible will enter evaluations. If you don't comply with the eligibility filter, let's say, the proposal will not be considered, okay, for evaluation. Secondly, we will conduct a traction indicators control based on the answers that you give in the application form, that we automatically will sort the proposals, okay, following some internal red flags, which are not public yet. I mean, they will be published after the project ends. These red flags are set according to the applicant profile, okay, and depending on if you are like an early stage company or established one, we will take it into account, and we will consider things like the team composition, your current and future market strategy, etc. Okay. Third step, once we have selected the proposals that are eligible and the traction indicators control is done, we proceed with the remote evaluation. Okay, for this process, we will hire external evaluators out of REACH consortia. They are experts in big data tools for the technical side of the proposal and also experts in business. Here, what you see is like the scoring we give to each of the criteria to be assessed. And it is mandatory to have at least 3 points on each of the criteria, okay, and then at least 12 out of 15 in total, okay, for the proposal to be positively evaluated. The opinion of the data provider is also taken into account. As I said before, they have to say if the challenge or of better said, if the application or the proposal fits or not with their challenge. So even if they don't, let's say, score the proposals, but they have the right to approve them. Okay. Final steps. Okay, there will be a ranking list with around 40 proposals, 30, probably a bit more. In the last two open calls, we have granted 32 proposals, applications in each of them. So these numbers are more or less approximate, but the truth is that there will be like a list of 30 proposals to go through the next phase, and a reserve list in case some of the other fail, in a reserve list, yes. And then after the evaluation is done, you will receive an evaluation summary report with an invitation to participate or the rejection letter. Okay, it is important here when you complete the application form that you indicate the mail of the contact person you want us to communicate the results, okay? In order not to avoid or lose mails, okay? So please make sure that the correct mail account is given in the application form. So to finish my presentation, this is the timeline we will be following in this third open call. 21st of February is the deadline for submission of proposals. Then during March, we will be doing the communication of results. Then there is another month for the signature and the preparation and signature of the agreements with all the applicants. And then in April 2023, first round of incubation, first stage called Explore, we will start. Okay, will take place. So that's all from my side. Applications, as you know, are now open. We have here the link and also the mail. Okay, we provide you to solve any doubt.
Thank you, Iñaki. I have a few things to add. So if it wasn't clear, so the program is mostly done online with only several moments where we meet in person. So just that everyone is aware. Furthermore, when applying and using the application set up in the F6S platform, if you by any chance run into some issue, like a link doesn't work or missing data set option or challenge setup, please let us know. I mean, we're only human, so we occasionally make mistakes as well, but we will fix this instantly. So do let us know through the open call email and make this happen. With this in mind, please take the time to prepare the application form. F6S platform allows you to revisit it several times. Unfortunately, it does not allow for multiple people to work on it at the same time, but you can revisit the application form setup, from what I understand. If the application has been submitted and you want to revisit it and there is time, meaning at least 3 days before the application, the deadline, send us an email and we will open the application for you. So this is the process. You can't do it yourself. Finally, from the perspective of simply the competitive nature of this call, I would like you to understand that evaluation summary report also plays a great role in your learning process for future. So do not feel discouraged because this thing can also bring a lot of value, because we will be judging it and providing you with reasons why you have not been selected and perhaps might include some recommendations for the future. So this all depends on the external evaluators doing it. So yeah. With this being said, I know that some questions are being asked in the chat and some of them are being answered, but please continue to do so. We'll be answering them as well in the Q&A afterwards. And for the time being, let's move on to the next topic of the agenda, which is Adrian from Nubila presenting the Reach Toolbox available for startups to use, which is not a prerequisite, but is very much recommended, as we made sure that all of these things are offered to you for free. So why not use it since they're there? So Adrian, please share screen and take it away.
Yeah, okay.
We can see it.
You can see it? Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'm Adrian Iacovelli. I'm from Nubila. I'm a project manager here, and I'm here to present you the Reach Toolbox. So the main goal of the Reach Toolbox is to provide you some tools to help you build your solutions and experiments and answer the challenges proposed in this open call. And the three main focus and topics of these tools provided in the toolbox are data protection and conformity with GDPR, data governance and smart contracts, and trusted data sharing and auditioning. So regarding the GDPR conformity and data protection, you have several tools proposed by Nubila, like the anonymizer and pharmacy from CDA. On the aspect on governance and smart contracts, we have two tools proposed by CDA, a multi-agent experimenter and Wi-Fi. And from the trusted data and sharing auditioning, we propose at Nubila the tool ProRegister and the Center of Research and Technology from ELAS proposed free tools like BAS, data sharing platform, and audit messaging and storage tool. So from the Reach Toolbox, you can ask these free data providers to grant you a free access to their tools, and this will be facilitated by each tool can be provided as REST web services and APIs, or if they are not accessible online, the Docker, standalone Docker can be proposed to you. As I stated, the goal is to make your solutions compliant to the GDPR and facilitate access and sharing data in your solutions, and to answer the challenges proposed in this project. I will present you rapidly some of our Nubila products as an example of what is accessible in the Reach Toolbox. So, as I stated before, we proposed two tools in the toolbox. The first one is the anonymizer. It's anonymization or pseudonymization application that can help you anonymize your data to be GDPR compliant. And to assist you in this process, we have developed a set of AIs to help you identify your sensible data or your quasi-sensible data that can lead to identify people with your datasets and propose you some de-identification methods and profiles to mask these sensitive informations in your datasets. And the other tool we propose is ProRegister. It is also on the topic of GDPR, but on the aspect of traceability. With ProRegister, you can record trace of data and use of data in a blockchain. The trace is stored in a database joined to the blockchain, and in the blockchain, the hash of the trace is registered in the blockchain. So it's compliant with the GDPR aspects of right to forget and right to delete your data, because in the blockchain you can't delete anything, but only the hash is backup here. So we can delete the trace from the database, and the trace in the blockchain will be just the hash of it. Okay. So for the anonymizer, as I said, it will help identify your sensitive data. We have a panel of 44 algorithms and methods and functions to help you for masking your data and keep a maximum of statistical relevance of it. And for the data masking, you can define identification profiles or data masking profiles to help anonymize and or pseudonymize your data. We handle different file types like imaging files like PDFs, CSV, for more structured data, CSV, and JSON and XML. And we handle also like DICOM, it's a medical imaging. So we can on documents, graphical documents like PDF or DICOM, we can draw some data masking rectangles to blank some parts of the document to preserve the anonymity of your users and people. The aim is to enforce data protection policy, and for that, with Anonymizer, you can define some data policy program in your company and grant access rights to data masking profiles and edit profiles for your policy, for your data masking policy. So the aim of the anonymizer is to keep statistical relevance of your data jointly to provide a GDPR compliance of your data and the data protection of the personal data of your datasets. So once anonymized, your datasets can be used in your solutions it will. Our aim is to preserve the quality of your data, jointly to preserve and grant the protections of the sensitive data of the people. Our most use case are in health companies and hospitals who can share their data, granting the anonymity of their patient files, for example. And for ProRegister, as I stated, this tool aims to grant traceability of and record all use of data made of use of data and computation of data of your solutions to provide audit processes and the trace of usage of data in audit processes according to the GDPR. So we provide a database to store execution trace of computations of data or usage of data in a database, and every trace is registered in the blockchain as a mathematical computation of hash algorithm. And so when you have to make an audit, you can verify the authenticity of each trace by comparing its and calculating its hash algorithm and comparing with the one stored in the blockchain. As in the blockchain, you can't delete anything. It will grant you the authenticity of the trace and that the trace has not been altered by someone. And it will help you prove that all your trace and that the usage of data and computation made on data and not been altered and prove they are authentic. Very true. So the use case for this application is you are a developer when you're building a solution and you want to answer all the trace of your business process and all the trace of the data used in your solutions, and make a proof file of what has been used by your solutions and how it has been used. As I stated, the three main tool providers in the REACH project are the CEA, and you have some contact information here. The CERT as a Center for Research and Technology of Hellas, and the PWAS Research were formerly known as Knubela. So we have all our contact information here. And thank you for seeing this presentation. Can I just show you, as it was in the slide, but there is a documentation file provided in the REACH Toolbox. It is in the slide. It's this URL here. And here you will find all the documentation about each tool provided in the toolbox, and you will also find, for example, for our tool, the Anonymizer, you can find an email to ask for a free access to this tool to test it and to use it in your experiments and solutions in the perimeter of the REACH project. For this you can browse each tool and see more details about each tool and how to ask for an access, an online access to it. And you will be provided an access to a sandbox environment to test and to experiment with it and to help you build your solutions. Thank you for your attention, and I will answer to your question after all the presentation.
Thank you, Adrian. Can you post the link that you have shown in the chat as well?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. All right. So thanks a lot. This has been interesting. Let's move on as we're being quite detailed and we need to move on. So I'm inviting Fernando Perales from JOT to introduce their corporation or SME, their challenge and their experience from previous rounds. So you guys can see it from their end. How does this look like and what can you expect?
Thank you, Alex. I'm going to do, let me share my screen. And this one. Okay, just confirm you can see my screen now.
Yes, but can you go switch screens somewhere because we're seeing the presenter mode instead of the other mode, I suppose.
Yeah. It's better now?
No, unfortunately. Or maybe duplicate presentation.
I'll do that again.
Well, yeah, now we can see it. Great.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. My name is Fernando Perales. I'm the head of JOT Research Lab. And we have presented we participate in Reach in Data Incubator as a data provider. So for this open call, we have defined a couple of challenges. But before presenting the challenge, I would like to present very briefly who we are. We are a digital marketing company based in Spain that is focused on the performance of the digital marketing campaign. Our main goal is that our clients may monetize the traffic that we are generating by the optimization of the digital marketing campaigns that are implemented in the main ad platforms like Google and Bing, for example. So we have two very easy to understand goals. The first one is that our ad may appear in the top position in the platform, like this one in Google. And the second main goal is to generate a click. So the user may go to our client landing pages. So in this way, we generate traffic or qualified traffic to our clients, because the users that we are driving to the landing pages express some kind of interest by the search they are doing in the search engine. So how we monitor and control all this process is because we can download all the KPIs, all the variables defining the performance of the ad every day. So we may control the number of clicks, the number of impressions, the click-through rate, the date where the click has been generated, the time, also the country. So we may monitor all these variables, but also all the actions carried out in our landing page. So taking into consideration all this information, our main goal is to develop new analytical service to optimize really the performance of the campaigns and the way or the amount we are investing in the ad or in the marketing campaign, to know more in which type of categories we need to invest more, in which ad platforms, for example, in which keywords. This kind of information is very useful for us in order to optimize our investment. So now going into the detail of the challenges, the first one is try to predict the temporal patterns for the keywords or the categories. We have realized that some categories are more efficient during summer than others on Christmas or in winter, but it's something that we have noticed based on our day-to-day knowledge and by working manually on this campaign. Our idea here is to collaborate with startups or with an SME to develop analytical service generating this information based on the data and automatically. So when our account manager would like to launch a new campaign based on finance, for example, this service will say, okay, finance is more suitable to be launched in February or in November, where all the financial department are closing their budget for the next year. Some other keywords are more for the weekends, some others for the working days. So there are different levels of patterns that we would like to know depending on the keyword, the text of the keyword, and the category this keyword is classified. Okay. For the second challenge is trying to classify the keywords based on the performance in the Google network. We have the Google main page, the google.com, but we have all the related landing, all the related Google pages, so where our ads may appear as well, but the performance depends also on where the ad is appearing. So we like to know which search pages are more efficient for us to appear on than others. So it's something that we also have realized manually, and we like to implement a service providing this information in an automatic way and before launching the campaign. So, for example, for home and garden, please use YouTube instead of google.com because it's more efficient. People are looking for videos or ads how to improve the quality of a plan. So that's an example instead of just reading the text. So the idea here is to generate a decision-making system to select the most adequate network depending on these keywords or a specific category. These are the two challenges that we have defined for this open call, and for that we have three different data sets. The first one defining or providing information about the historical marketing campaigns, including all the statistics, the date, the identification of the account, the campaign, the group, the keywords is embedded, the currency, the match type, the impressions, the CPC, the cost per click, the quality score, all the statistics defining the marketing campaign. And then we have two additional tables enabling the link between the categories and the campaigns, and also the network and the campaign statistics. In the second one, we have the campaign ID, the name of the campaign, the category the campaign is embedded, the country and the language. And in the third table, it contains the correlation with the Google network, the description, the ID, and the code that is linked with the marketing statistics as well. We already have shared the data samples in the REACH platforms, which you may have access to them right now. For sure, I'm open to be contacted by any of the proposers in case you have any specific doubt about the challenge or the data set. Please don't hesitate to contact me by email. And that's all from my side. I will check if you have any questions to this presentation in the chat, and I will try to solve them, on the fly.
Thank you, Fernando. So, guys, as you've seen, this is an example of one challenge, and we have around 50 of them that can be found both on the website as well as listed in the guidelines for applicants. So take time do take time to go into it and understand each, and hence prepare best. So it's not the matter of just going into the application form and writing whatever you're doing, but it is understanding the challenge and the available data sets and how can you contribute to this. It's very important. So, and if you do have questions for Fernando, please post them in the chat and we'll answer. So moving on. Now that we heard from the data provider, we'll wrap it up with Sarah from Urban Data Collective as a representative from the team who has won the round 2 as one of the best, one and only best startup from the round. So welcome, Sarah.
Hi, Alec. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I mean, I don't have any slides or anything like that to show. I'm just going to talk you through our experience a little bit and try to impart some interesting insights of what we found about the process and some of the takeaways and suggestions we would make for others who are looking to take part in this new round. So I'm the co-founder and engineering lead of a startup, and our core product is building a platform that makes it easy for organizations to manage and share their streams of real-time data. And what we did in Reach was we built a value-add data service on top of these streams of live data for one of our clients who was also our data provider. So we brought in an external data provider in our case. And overall, I would say really enjoyed the Reach process. We found it was very well organized, and the phases, the evolve, the explore, experiment, and evolve, all made very much sense and really aligned with what we were doing, which was developing a new product and potentially a new revenue stream. And the time we had to do that was very achievable, and the mentoring and tutorial sessions that we were given throughout the process were all very timely and all very relevant. Some of the things that I would suggest if you're looking to take part in this round, first thing is be ambitious. So this is, use this as an opportunity to try something quite new or significant for your company, like creating a new product or a new service offering, rather than implementing an iterative update to an existing service. This is quite a potentially low risk way to explore new revenue paths, new service delivery, new products. So take advantage of that. And that's what we did. And we actually now have a new product on top of our core product that's bringing us in a new revenue stream, and that we're managing to roll out to multiple new customers. So it's been very worthy in that sense. I'd say as well, connect early with your data provider, whoever they are, and get to know them really well. So in our case, we brought in one of our customers or one of our existing clients as a data provider. And what that allowed us to do was develop a much stronger relationship with that particular client. But even if it's someone who is not a client, if it's one of the data providers from within Reach, this is a great opportunity to create a much stronger relationship with another organization who could potentially become a customer or even a partner. So it makes sense to really focus on that and try to build up a good relationship. And the way we did that is we had very regular touch points with our data provider. We had regular demo sessions with them throughout the whole experiment and development phase. And we set these up quite regularly, so we had a really nice schedule that felt like we were implementing a kind of a co-design approach with them, and we really brought them into the development loop. And in the end, it was very easy then to transfer the tool to them and have them begin to pay for the tool. And actually now promote it to other similar clients. They were a local authority, so they've also been telling other local authorities about the tool that we've developed for them and how they could also use it. I think the mentoring and tutorial sessions are really useful, so make use of them. The tutorial sessions, I attended quite a few of the technical ones, which were all very valuable, and some of the technical mentoring sessions as well on specific questions, which I found were all very useful. But even the other mentoring sessions around leadership and engaging with investors, all very, very useful content, and I'd highly recommend. And then just finally, so my focus, my responsibilities within our startup is more from a technical aspect. So during the Reach incubator, my input was more on the technical pitches and the technical side. And just from that point of view, I would say be detailed and be specific about what you want to do technically. Be very clear about the tools that you're going to use in your tool chain. And how you're going to integrate any of the Reach toolbox into your existing product or service, or the new one you're wanting to build. But don't stay too high level, because it immediately opens you up for deeper questioning when it comes to technical pitches and reviews. So be ready to be very detailed with your responses. Yeah, I think that's the main things I wanted to say, but please, happy to answer any questions as well in the box if you have anything.
Awesome, Sarah. I think you covered everything from the application process all the way to your experience in the incubator. So very much thank you for this. Cool. So guys, with this being said, this concludes the agenda. Now we move on to Q&A. And I understand that there has been a slight different approach to our Q&A than we wanted at the beginning, as a lot of questions have been asked and answered in the chat. So I would kindly ask, how can we approach this? So it's either we go with the partners who have been answering the questions to see if any questions have not been answered, or maybe even better, if you have asked a question in the chat and you have not received a question, please raise your hand via the feature in Zoom and ask it out loud, and we'll go one by one to see this, because to be honest, I'm slightly having a difficulty going through the chat and understanding what was answered and what was not. So please have understanding, and perhaps next time we'll do a proper webinar on Zoom rather than a meeting, and this will be sorted out. So anyone has any questions? All right, so we have from Popping Games Talat. Is this the question? So is it expected a technical member to join and represent the company?
That's one, and there's another one actually. Let me raise the other one. We are already being partnered up with EIT Digital. They are 10% shareholder. Is it a blocker to apply or not?
No, it shouldn't be. I mean, it is not. So we accept only registered companies from Horizon Europe or H2020 member states plus the associated countries, as long as there are SMEs, and we don't necessarily look into the cap table, let's put it this way, of your company. So yeah, and when it comes to your technical member question, So as you heard from Sarah, that both technical and business aspects are covered in the project, and there will be both the training as well as the evaluation of both sides. So it will be very much appreciated that the technical member will be there. In other words, a business person wouldn't be able to appropriately address these things or take the value from our trainings. So yeah.
Thanks.
Does anyone have an unanswered question from the chat or would like to ask another one? Going once, twice. Okay.
Maybe Alec, if you enable, just to summarize some set of answers that I provided in the chat.
But, okay, but before we do that, we still have Ivan.
There is Jovanovic.
Yes, Jovanovic. Yes, it's me. Hi, everybody. I have a question regarding the data provider. Does the data provider have to be a SME as we are, or
No.
no? Okay.
No.
And secondly, the data provider, does he, if he's based outside of the EU, for example, USA based, so I think it's still working as can it be possible?
USA is associate member first.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
they are not funded. I would say they are not funded by the program. Yeah.
Hi, Reda. I would jump in concerning this question.
Mm.
I think that it would be better to ask internally and to reply by email.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, we could say that at least as there is a memorandum of understanding signed among the applicant and the data provider, it would be possible. But we need to check internally according to the
The only point that I can highlight immediately for you is if this company is from USA, take care of the intellectual property, the patents and whatever. There is, in fact, we will be, you know that in Europe, we are now trying to be sovereign and to keep our technologies here. Then if there is this company, there is some obligation to transfer any result to them under America regulation. I would say in our evaluation, we'll take it in account.
Yes, you're right. Yes, yes.
We are in Europe. You can collaborate whatever where you want. We are open, but be aware that we will like that the value of the technologies and whatever sit in Europe. You see.
Okay.
Create business. We are happy to follow you to create business in America. No problem, but ensure that the technology that you develop still in our border.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for raising that point to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to the questions in the chat. So,
there is a question, complicated question. A group of company can apply, etc. Yes, but one SME apply, and then you sign a memorandum between each other to show that you will collaborate. But one SME apply, and that's all, because the money is just like this. If you want to create difficult stuff and create a temporal company, business company that exists in some countries, like in France, is feasible, but you must get your PIC number. The PIC number is mandatory to be funded. We've seen internal data. No, internal data don't exist. It is data for development. Then we don't consider this internal data as data provider. You must collaborate with a second party acting as a data provider. There is questions concerning, I think, the toolbox. Yeah, it's more than mandatory. For the first two calls, we have been, I would say, arranging SMEs, but the European Commission is not happy at all. Then for the third open call, will be more strict. In the sense, you must use as less one tool from the toolbox. Maybe maybe it can happen. We are not comprehensive. Our offer is not comprehensive. Maybe it can happen that you need a specific tool that don't exist in our offer in the toolbox. It's possible from the moment it is in connection with trusting data value chain, analyzing data, etc. But in the case that you are planning to use a tool and we estimate there is an equivalent tool offered by the toolbox, in that case, you must justify and explain why you are using external tool, while we are offering an equivalent one in the toolbox.
So complementing with Reda has said, I put in the chat the explicit pages of the guide of applicants where the toolbox is mentioned and the specific paragraphs. So as you could see in the chat in page 14, it is said that applicants must describe in the proposal which tools, either open source, commercial, or from the RIS Toolbox catalog, will be used to ensure that the solution is aligned with the requirements of secure and trusted data value chains. And also, as it was mentioned by Iñaki when presenting the call, it is common for all the tracks that secured and trusted DVCs will be prioritized. Okay, so if your solution does not address how you are going to build secure and trusted data value chains, you will have less points than other solutions. Yeah. So the toolbox is, I would not say the toolbox is mandatory, but rather I would say that addressing the security and trustability of the solution proposed is mandatory.
Yeah, that's it. Trust in general sense, not only cybersecurity. The trust is traceability of data, anonymization, tracking, cybersecurity, blah, blah, blah. All this is trust. Simply to say, SME applying just to apply artificial intelligence on data on individual data provider is not really interesting. We are looking for data value chain, cross sectors, trust. That is point that are blocking today of this basic idea of sharing data. Now we are trying to solve this problem. So that is important. If the tool you need is not in the rich toolbox, is not blocking. We said also open or commercial, just explain or send us an email to give you the green light or red light to don't take risk, you see. Others have said, is it possible to apply to many tracks in parallel? Only one application will be considered in any case. The best for you to don't spend a lot of effort is to choose one which is the major, has a real mapping with your idea, and then nothing is blocking to reference the other tracks where you think that you have connection. This is a kind of cross sector. We can consider it like this, but apply only to one. Don't charge. Don't take a lot of effort to write a proposal. Some have asked about the May, the event. This will be just before saying to you goodbye. What is other? What I have missed? I think I have replied to all. Only legally established company. Legally, that means exist in your national, you are registered, and you have registered and requested your PIC number when you apply. We have faced some situation where SME have requested the PIC number later, and this can create risk for me as SEA to refund that the money will be taken from my pocket, from my SEA organization. I don't have enough salary to pay for it. Then please answer. It is 5 minutes to request the PIC number. Is not a long time. Then please answer to request it on time.
Thanks, Reda. We have another hand raised from Ru Wickman from BSH.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, just a quick question. I was wondering if cross collaboration between different countries is encouraged or rewarded in some way. That's one. And second, if we already have multiple entities as a startup, shall we apply from the parent company, or it doesn't matter?
No, the group, if it is one company by group, not affiliated, etc. In fact, it is one One SME. If you are, there is connection, affiliation, and this legal dependency, only one. We don't
That
matter
I
if it is.
understand completely. No,
We don't matter
my-
if
my
it is
que-
the mother, the holding, or a branch, or the one that is relevant have a legal existence can apply.
Okay, so either subsidiary or parent company can apply.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
subsidiary from the moment that exists has legal existence, has its PIC number.
Mhm.
For us, it's not problem, but not many company from the group. It does not make sense. Cross collaboration between SMEs, between countries, between sectors, all these are nice and welcome. And maybe taken in account. We done it for Open Call 2 and 1, where we encouraged cross collaboration, and this played a bonus, I would say, in selection and the continuation of the SME. I will not give the names, but it was taken in account because one SME cannot address all the challenges. It's difficult, but being able through this event, through these meetings, through the mailing list, to create connection between each other and offer a solution, strong solution, is more than perfect and more than welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Ru, if you see the chat, there has been a similar response to a question to your question. So at the end, only a single organization can be beneficiary of the application, but one applicant can collaborate once starting the development of the solution with other partners if they want. There is no requirement of that. The only requirement is to address the challenge you have applied for and solve in the timeline that it's provided.
And maybe to even say, if the two startups get accepted and they decide to collaborate, we'll be more than happy, because this is a representation of the data value chain that we stand for.
Yeah.
And in terms of your first question, it was cross-border collaboration. I think what you meant by can the data provider be from another country, as long as it fits within the member states. I think this is fine and encouraged. It will not necessarily yield any additional benefits or points, but it is the matter of data sharing and data value chains that we are interested in.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the questions you can send them by email. Alec, if you enable, I will just highlight two important points. Please, we have faced, it's me who in charge about the contract. You are not selected that, but think about it, it's important. The contact point, the person that is the contact point, it happened to us, two SMEs. Unfortunately, we faced difficulties to sign the contract once they have been selected, because the person who applied is not the person who followed after the proposal and contract, and this created troubles. Then please ensure when you mention a contact point, this person must be stable, and if it is changed, it happened, it is life, it's normal, companies are dynamic. If any change happen, please send email with priority and requesting confirmation of reception and whatever. The contact point is really important. And then concerning the event, this will be discussed during the kickoff if you are selected, but if necessary, I don't know, May is far. The event, the selection Explore event will be on May in Paris, 30 and 31st of May in Paris, physically. Every company can attend 1 or 2 persons, not more than that. And 1 week before, there is a virtual meeting with data provider. But now it's too early. Just in case there is some people that must arrange their agenda from now, expecting they are selected, hopefully. Then physically meeting is 30 and 31 May in Paris Center.
Thank you, Reda. To answer the final question from Matthias, data providers have a role in expressing their opinion whether the application or the proposed experiment is a fit for the challenge or not. So we do take this into account.
Yeah. Data provider are involved along all the process during the selection and also during the intermediate stages.
Okay. If there are no more questions, we'll call this meeting an end. Going once.
Maybe I remember the date, Alec.
21st of February. So, and yeah, my strong recommendation is do not wait for the last minute. I mean, it's in your interest to apply earlier for the sake of peace of mind, as well as room to edit whatever you want, simply approaching it.
Yeah, there is one point. It happened during the second open call. One company was from Singapore, and to apply to reach, have created temporal company in Europe. They were selected, and then coming to the signature of agreement, the signature come from Singapore. They are not eligible, and they were rejected. Simply, this created trouble because we haven't reached the number of SME we have been planning. Then no need, and at the end of the day, we are contracting and acting and collaborating with European and associated members.
Cool. So wrapping up, we've communicated this. So open call at reach-incubator.eu is the place where you can ask the questions or go onto the F6S platform and post it under the open call 3. To quickly sum up, so we will be accepting a bit over 35 applicants, probably around 38, but still, once we know the final selection, we'll know more. Slightly more than previous times, so that this will be this is the case. So in terms of the question, as long as it's a European startup applying, registered in EU, it does not matter who owns it or where do they come from. It is the matter of where they're registered. And when it comes to the Russian entities and Russian teams, as long as they're located in Europe with a European registered company, we will be accepting those. But if they're located and registered in Russia, we won't. I think this summarized that issue as well. Cool. Cristobal, you have something to add?
Yes, there is a question in the chat concerning what was the acceptance rate in the second round. You could go to the news section of the website, and there you could look at the results of the previous open calls, where you could see the number of applications per country, per track, etc. I don't have the number of the exact application rate. Okay. In Open Call 2, it was 125 applications submitted and 32 selected. So the acceptance rate in previous Open Call was 25%. But I suggest you to go to the news section, look at the news, and look for the results of the Open Call 1 and Open Call 2.
Thank you, Cristobal. So we hope we covered it all. The recording will be distributed to you, also posted on YouTube. We're here to support you. Just please be timely with your questions and not in the last day, hey, help us out with this. And I'm like, well, let's do this timely, and it will be stress-free for everyone, and hopefully to see properly developed applications, because at the end of the day, as you see, it's a very competitive call. So the photo, we have taken the photo at the beginning, so we can call it a day. And thanks everyone for joining. Thanks partners for helping us out run this set. And happy Christmas and New Year's and upcoming holidays. And we're looking forward to seeing this happen next year.